Welcome to today's show. I am your host, Eric Darnley Small. And on today's show, a special show, I'm normally not having another video already, but we're in unique times here. We're in special times. And I'm beginning to think that things are happening so fast. Normally, I would have a much more contained show and to show that PowerPoints and everything else. But some days I'm just going to have to jump on and just do a quick one just to let people know what I see happening and what concerns me. Of course, if you like what you see here, you can choose to like and subscribe to the channel and click the bell to be notified as to what's going on whenever I upload new content. In addition, I'm going to read from articles that I've found online that I think are important. If you want to read the full article, which I encourage you to do so that you can make up your own mind, go to my Mastodon, mastodon.vtip.me/@ what you missed so you can see the entire article and read for yourself. So, as I've indicated, a lot going on, but I want to get back to the basics so that I can sort of tether myself as well as my audience as to what to expect when you come to this channel. And in my previous videos, I talked about put a pin in it where I will focus on 5 areas that when there are shocks to the system, where there are unprecedented things that happen, I'm going to note that. I'm going to do a video on noting that, and I'm going to stick a pin in it. The overall goal here, because as I've said before, people are probably tired of hearing people talk. They want to fight. Well, the fight happened already, and we lost. The fight was the election to bring Kamala Harris in. Instead, we got another 4 years, perhaps more, of Donald Trump. So we had to fight, and we lost the fight. Why? That's what's important to know now. Why, and then what are we going to do about it? Part of what I want to talk about with regard to this channel in this age and why I think that it is necessary. Kamala Harris, I am not one of those people that believes that Kamala Harris could have won. I believe this was a fait accompli. And the reason why I believe that is that what's broken in America couldn't be fixed by an election. What's broken in America can only be fixed and repaired by Americans going through a lot of pain. And Joe Biden believed that by screaming into a camera and talking about how we need to all come together and become one and yada, 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 that would fix what was broken in America. The problem is he was wrong. And I believe that he was misguided. And part of that reason is that he is from a generation that maybe would have responded to that. But the problem of today is bigger and deeper than that. The problem is the soul of America is wounded. Some might say broken, but I would say is wounded, is damaged. We are in a love scam. And when the soul is damaged, you're prey to scammers, to people who are looking to take advantage of you. So that's what's going on. In addition, I think we have a generational shift. And this is something that's come to me fairly recently. And that is that the previous generation, the greatest generation, and the silent generation after that, had an understanding of what liberty and freedom was that my generation and the generation after do not. We believe, I think, and we have come to believe that freedom is cheap gas, is a good sense of income, of a job, of a low interest rates, of a lot of things that provide you a materialistic, comfortable lifestyle. And I believe that the authoritarian, the quote unquote strong man, banks on that. That what we're looking for is a good life. And let the freedom part of that be, let somebody else take care of it. A strong man take care of it. That's why they're able to get in and get a toehold. And I really do believe that part of that explains the rise of Donald Trump to an extent on the right. And one of the things that we're going to have to come to is a new understanding about what freedom is. And part of that is going to be the realization that a messy sort of, difficult, not always how you would like it to be world is a free world. And a world in which you have, perpetual chaos, but it looks as if people are getting beat around and we're being tough and we're being tough guys and throwing our weight around. That is not a free world. That is a world where we think that we don't need freedom anymore, that somebody else is looking out for us, is handling our back. And as long as interest rates are low, as long as I got a house, as long as I've got my safety and security, I don't care about freedom. If you're African American in this country today, that is something that you really need to come to terms with. And I don't know that we, because of our language on these things, I don't know that we have come to terms with that. So that's just an overall thing that I'm looking at today that I think is a teachable or something that we can learn. So kudos to Heather Cox Richardson for this story. And it is a frightening story. And I don't like to do frightening stories just for the heck of it, but it is a turnable, teachable moment, whatever you want to call it. But it goes into how Elon Musk has, along with a bunch of young, inexperienced engineers, taken over the government. People are calling it a coup. I don't know enough about coups to make sure that it is a coup, but I'm going to go with their words, and I'm actually going to quote a passage out of why this is a coup. But my speculation is that not only does this, and this is a part of, by the way, Doge. This is what Doge became, right? If people may remember that there was a battle between Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk. Ramaswamy lost that battle and has left Doge. But at the center, according to the reporting, is what Doge was. Doge became just an organization within the government that was about suggestions on how to cut from the budget to a digital computer software, a part of the government, almost overnight. So what became just a suggestion has now become software. And everything that we can indicate is that Elon Musk has gotten into very sensitive areas of the government with a bunch of young kids. And one of the things I believe is going to happen is that he can lock out people out of the system should Donald Trump tell him to. So if Donald Trump decides, I'm not going to just do another year, I'm going to do a year on top of that, he could tell Elon Musk that if they don't comply, shut the system down. Keep people out of the system. And this system is just not any old system. This is how we pay our bills. And I'll go into that in a minute. But anyway, this is from Wired. This is where this story originally came out of. And it says Elon Musk's takeover of federal government infrastructure is ongoing. And at the center of things is a coterie of engineers who are barely out of, in at least one case, purportedly still in college. Most have connections to Musk, and at least two have connections to Musk's longtime associate, Peter Thiel, a co-founder and chair of the analytics firm and government contractor Palantir, who has long expressed opposition to democracy. Palantir, by the way, has a banger year. Its stock is skyrocketing right now. Wired has identified 6 young men, all apparently between the ages of 19 and 24, according to public databases, their online presence, and other records, who have little to no government experience and are now playing a critical role in Musk's so-called Department of Government Efficiency project, tasked by executive order with modernizing federal technology and software to maximize government efficiency and productivity. The engineers, the 6 men, are one part of the broader project of Musk's allies assuming key government positions. Already, Musk's lackeys, including more senior staff from XAI, Tesla, and the Boring Company, have taken control in the Office of Personnel Management, General Services Admission, and have gained access to the Treasury Department's payment system, potentially allowing him access to vast range of sensitive information about tens of millions of citizens, businesses, and more. On Sunday, CNN reported that Doge personnel attempted to improperly access classified information and security systems at the U.S. Agency for International Development, and that top USAID security officials who thwarted the attempt were subsequently put on leave. The Associated Press reported that DOJ personnel had indeed access to classified material. So, just to be clear, what has happened here is that Elon Musk and a bunch of unnamed young people have decided to come in and begin to take over the computer infrastructure of America. If this were a foreign entity, it would be a hacking job. And they have been able to get into the very payment system. But we now, as of yesterday, that was from, by the way, Sunday Wired. Sunday, that would have been February 2nd. So last night, yesterday, February 3rd, we have found out who these kids are. And they are quite a bunch. Elon Musk's team of Doge disruptors have been unmasked, much of the ire of the billionaire and other MAGA figures. One is a 19-year-old college freshman and heir to a popcorn fortune. Another was hosting model UN sessions in 2019, and the third was given money by his parents to invest in stocks while at high school in Silicon Valley High. Remember, all the best people. DEI is a threat because we're into meritocracy, but all of a sudden, these guys, how are they qualified? They don't even have any experience in this area. Again, the scam. The world's richest man lashed out on X account, which suggested the 6 young men who now have access to Treasury Department's payment system, among other things, should be paid a visit by the FBI. You have committed a crime, Musk fired back at the comment from the account Monday, shortly before the post in question was removed for allegedly violating the platform's rules. Musk goes on. Musk's teams of youngsters, as first reported by Wired on Sunday, is Mr. Boba, a student at University Berkeley, Corsine of Northeastern University in Boston, and Chatorian, who is a senior at Harvard. So, 7-figure Matt Gaetz groupie. This guy, Gavin Killingers, who is a part of this group. His LinkedIn lists his employer as the U.S. Office of Personnel Management, where he's a special advisor to the director. His old jobs include a brief stint as an engineer at Twitter in 2019. He is already making a name for himself in his new role. He was named Monday by the New York Times as a person who blasted out a staff-wide email to USAID workers that ordered them to work from home as the agency scrutinized by Doge and the Trump administration. A correspondence that underscores just how much power Musk's team of young engineers may hold. But what he really wants the world to know about his brief in male MAGA warriors, Matt Gaetz and Pete Hegseth's brilliance, using his Substack to post about them. Gaetz, who was investigated over allegations of teenage sex trafficking, was, according to him, a victim of deep state. Hegseth, a serial, unfaithful former Fox News star of sexual assault, drunkenness, and received lap dances while in uniform, he wrote, was the warrior Washington doesn't want to, but desperately needs. Klinger, whose Cornell graduate father is an attorney for Experian, appears happy to monetize his Doge experience. He has made the entirety about Doge on his Substack for $12 a month subscription. The next up is Xiaotran, who penned an essay for Business Insider last summer where he detailed how he balances his startup with full-time studies. He's also the founder of Energize AI, a scheduling assistant for professionals that was awarded a $100,000 grant from OpenAI in 2023. This other gentleman is the co-winner of a $700,000 prize last year after he used AI to partially decipher a 2,000-year-old papyrus from Pompeii. The popcorn heir, Korstein, the group's lone teenager, has a resume that includes a summer internship at Neuralink. His father appears to be Charles Korstein, the businessman who purchased the once failing snack company Lesser Evil in 2011, has turned it around to reportedly rake in $100 million a year. The model UN organizer, another so-called expert, PM expert, according to Wired, is Boba. His since deleted LinkedIn said he was an investment engineer intern at Bridgewater Associates hedge fund, which previously internship both at Meta and Palantir, which are founded by Republican mega donor Peter Thiel. The group all currently have working GSA emails and an A-suite level clearance at the General Services Administration, which means that they work out of the agency's top floor and have access to all physical spaces and IT systems. Charlie Kirk says, remember when Wired was focused on cutting edge technology and how young college dropout founders could change the world? Not anymore. Now they're doxing Doge employees and whining that they are too young and inexperienced to perform America's government. America's experienced expert class have led this country to ruin. Young geniuses with startup mentality could save it. So, number of things going on here. Racism, of course, the hypocrisy, of course, and Elon Musk's attempts to illegally and immorally, unethically, all of those things that you want to put in there has begun to take over the government away from the American people and away from where it should lie, where this power should lie, which is in professionals in this area, people who have loyalty to the Constitution and not to Elon Musk. But finally, Paul Krugman has a little write-up here on the seriousness of this, and this was posted today. And it says what the Musk is going on. And he outlines here the what could be really going on here and the seriousness of this. And he says, this is at the end of his article, he says, my final point is a bit trickier because we don't know how it will turn out. Musk associates have been given access to the U.S. Treasury systems that control all federal payment from grants to nonprofits to Social Security checks to salaries of federal workers. The potential for mischief here is immense. The court may have told Trump administration that it can't freeze spending mandates by Congress, but Musk's people, who haven't shown much reference for the law, might just ignore the courts and not cut the checks. And they could go beyond cutting off programs the Musk-Trump administration doesn't like. Imagine that you're a federal contractor who has made campaign donations to Democrats. Suddenly, the government stops paying what it owes you and brushes off inquiries by saying that they're working on the problem. Or you're a federal employee who, according to somebody in your office who has a personal grievance, has expressed sympathy for DEI. Somehow your regularly scheduled salary payments stop being deposited into your bank account. Or even imagine you're a retiree who canvassed for Kamala Harris, and for some reason your Social Security checks stop coming. Don't say they wouldn't do such a thing. We've seen these people in action, and of course they would if they could. For the moment, they probably can't. The federal payment system is immensely complex, and, like most of the government infrastructure, has been financially squeezed for decades. So it's cobbled together, much of it running on old hardware and even older software, kept functioning thanks to old hands and institutional memory. The 20-somethings Musk is deploying to take it over, locking out those old hands and pushing aside the people who know how the system works, almost surely don't understand enough to politicize payments right away. Nathan Tenkus, the go-to expert on these matters, says, I 100% believe that the primary barrier to Elon Musk gaining control of the Treasury Department is COBOL. For readers mystified by the reference, COBOL is a very old programming language that was once pervasive in the business world, but in which hardly anyone under 60 knows how to program, yet is still widely used in the government. But this observation raises another question. What if Musk's people, Muscovites, try to muck with the system they don't understand, believing that they're super smart and can master everything with the help of a little AI? It's not hard to imagine the whole federal payment system, including, by the way, the servicing of our federal debt, crashing. So much damage to U.S. credibility, to the Constitution, to the rule of law, and possibly even to the very functioning of our government. And Trump took power only 2 weeks ago. So that is the long and the short of this. I can't say that I'm surprised, nor can I say that we don't deserve this. We do deserve it. And this is the fallout of our complacency and our belief that somehow Donald Trump would do good things and that his people would do good things. We had a tariff war that was called off early because, in my view, and if past his prologue, Donald Trump probably got on the phone with these guys after hearing from the business world and from other Republicans that you can't do it. Probably got on with these other leaders and said, listen, I don't need you to do anything. I just need you to go out there and say that you're going to do something so that I can look good here. Why do I say that? Because that's what Donald Trump did before with respect to the 2020 election. He pressured Georgia officials to say, you don't have to prove that there's fraud. Just say there was fraud, and then I'll take it from there. And that's all he's looking to do, is for someone to tell him, listen, the president won, we're going to send troops, we're going to stop the flow of fentanyl, we're going to have a fentanyl czar, as Canada has said. And that's all he needs, to be able to go out and to tell his people that he's won and that he's got concessions. It's a lie. It's false. It's fraudulent. And unfortunately, I think the American people are going to buy it. And that is the ultimate ruin of all this. The systems and all that kind of stuff is its own problem. But the major ruin here is going to be not just U.S. credibility, but the idea that the president of the United States cannot be trusted, and that, in fact, what we see as solutions to a problem are not, in fact, solutions. They're just another scam. Thank you for joining me on this video. You'll see me on the next one. Take care, everyone. Hey there, fantastic viewers. Eric Darnley Small here, and I hope you're loving today's episode of What You Missed. You've reached the end of today's show, but don't worry, there's more show coming up. If you're watching this on YouTube, please click the bell so that you'll be notified when more content is available. You can also help the channel by clicking the like and subscribe buttons. It helps the YouTube algorithm find new viewers so that I can keep bringing you all this incredible content you enjoy. But wait, there are more ways to support the show. You can make a contribution through the show's PayPal, which goes a long way in helping produce even better content for you. And consider becoming a part of our growing community by joining our Mastodon site at mastodon.vtip.me/@whatyoumissed for more engaging discussions and exclusive updates. And here's something you won't want to miss. Mark your calendars for our live show streaming on YouTube and stream.vtip.me Monday mornings, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Your support means the world to me, and together we're making What You Missed the best it can be. Thanks for being a part of my journey.